Welcome to the artist panel. I invited Vasilisa, Diren, Shirin, and Barış, and then Roshda will be translating for Barış, to really talk about their own experiences, also maybe their own artworks, if they feel like it, of course, if it's relevant. But the question here is, I think, and I asked them also, that's the same question, is this self-fashioning, so this idea of having to redefine yourself as an artist in this new place in Germany or in Berlin here even. Is this something that can be emancipating? Is it positive? Because you're becoming more professional, you have to kind of relate to the artistic fields, the cultural industry, in a way. How do you adapt? But also, is it maybe also restricting? Because this idea of self-fashioning can also be a negative thing when it becomes something that you need to show, you have to perform in a certain way in order to get the money, in order to get the subsidy, in order to be successful, to get an audience. Even today, you know, we were joking in the hallway, but it was very hard to bring people together for an event on exile, since that is not a very hot topic, it seems, which is very sad in a way, because it is a kind of state of being, maybe of being also in practice, that is becoming more and more the standard, that we have to move for whatever reason it is. So this is the question of self-fashioning. I think maybe I shouldn't talk too much. Maybe we can first quickly make a round. Everybody says who they are, where they're coming from, maybe if they feel comfortable saying that, and why they are here, and what kind of art they are producing, because they're also coming from very, very different disciplines. And then we can start, maybe we follow just this order, and every artist can speak freely, present for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then when that is over, this whole round, then we can open it up for questions and discussion with the audience. Yeah? So...
good evening, everyone. My name is Vasilisa, Palianina. I'm from Belarus. I'm sorry for my English. Sometimes it's not so good, and sometimes I could not understand, but I'm trying. So I'm here for a year. I came because of, I could say that it was some kind of repression for me and my husband. He's an artist too. So we're here for a year with our dog, and we live in Kunsthaus Britannia. Our support is Academy der Kunst, Jungle Academy, and that's why we're here. Nobody knows our future, of course. We know it just for 3 months, and then we'll see.
Hello, my name is Diren Demir. I'm an interdisciplinary artist and curator, and living in Berlin for the last 9 months so far. I also experienced self-exile as a queer Kurdish and Alevi person living in Turkey. I flew away the country in 2021, and since then I'm just outside, and trying to survive and sustain my life as an artist. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Shirin. I'm from Iran, and I'm here since 6 years. I'm a painter. I studied painting in Iran, and I studied for 2 years something in the Udaka, and I quit with it. So I don't think that I have to make it clear why am I here. I think Iran is now so trendy, and I think so it's so clear why am I here. Yeah.
And I'm Barış Seyitvan. I'm from Kurdistan, North Kurdistan. Ahmet. I'm a visual artist and curator. I was working in the municipality in Diyarbakır in 2009-2016. After some politician problems, I moved Helsinki with Artist at Risk program. And after I went to Stockholm, then very long road in Karlsruhe, in ZKM Museum. I worked there in like curatorial department. And after I went to Munich, finally I'm here. I'm working like curator here. And my focus Middle East artist and from artists from Middle East. Now also I have some project about Kurdish artist and Middle East artist, and yeah, I think enough now.
My name is Pieter Verstraete. I am from Belgium originally, from the Flemish region. Not that I'm very proud of that, because of all the Flemish identity issues there. I am married with a Turkish scholar, and it's actually because we were building a life in Turkey that in the end we came here because there was political pressure on, especially my wife. We both supported the peace process, the peace petition, when it was not so sexy anymore to have peace with the Kurds in Turkey, and that made us sympathizers to terrorism, it was called. So in the end, after the coup in 2016, the government, President Erdogan, took the opportunity to basically make people afraid to, if they stay, they would lose their jobs in the institutions, in the university. So my wife made a move, and I followed her. So I've been living with her, exile, supporting her. And at the same time, I tried to do something good with the situation, talking to artists like you, mostly from the performing arts though, from Turkey, also Kurdish, to collect their stories and to find a way to archive, to document it, since this is a migration and an exile in motion, and it's usually in the academia and in archives, this happens 20 years after. Then they start collecting what is already lost. I thought it's better to do it now, before all these voices get lost. And there are also many artists who also stop being artists or cannot do artistic production. So I also wanted to kind of cover all that, and of course also to understand the institutions that have been supportive, how they work, are they sufficient enough? So these are the questions that I've been dealing with in the last 2.5 years. The project is called Exiled Lives on the Stage, also short ExiLives project, funded by the European Commission and based at Freie Universität Berlin.
I want to say thank you for coming, and thank you, Pieter, for inviting me. My name is Mariia Kulchytskaya. I'm a ballet photographer from Ukraine. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay. As we said, we could follow this order, so we will start with Vasilisa.
It will be necessary to say a few words about my context and about my country. I don't know how much you know about Belarus and about situation there, but I just have to say that we have a president who are president 28 years, and the last 3 years we call him a false president because we didn't choose him, and almost all people didn't choose him, and that's why in 2020 it was a very huge protest, the hugest in the story of our country, and in that time was very strongly violence, and police and government just had and have violence and tortures, and for nowadays on February we have 1,439 political prisoners. And we have now 3 mass media at all. All journalists who try to say truth or who try to say what they see, they are abroad or they are in prison for now. Also after 2020, almost 400,000 people just must leave the country. And the important thing about Belarus that we choose President Svetlana Tikhanovskaya. She's our chosen president, and she, with her company, does and they together do lots of things that people just don't forget Belarus, our problems, our political prisoners, and so on. Also important thing that in Belarus we have a very huge repression for now. It is quite repression because only Belarus people know about it. And I just want to say you that it exists and it's truly huge, huge one. So yeah, this is the short about our country. And now I'd like to say to show you my project, which was made in 2020. It is the project. It's named by the phrase of hero from the film Cargo 200. Cargo 200 we called in Belarus, it's dead soldiers from the war. And in this film, Alexander Balabanov, this hero is a maniac who say about his love a girl. She doesn't love me, mom. He said his mom. He tortured her and just say that he need love. So I draw these persons. It's a policeman with mask, but it's quite infantilic mask. It's like child. It's grow-up child. I truly think that people who do some kind of violence, people who don't know what love means. When I read about police forces, I read that usually in this kind of profession goes people who are from not full families, and their families just dysfunctional families. I think that these people just their revenge for not loving them. I present this project in Lithuania, and there you could see a photo in it. It was in night club, and it was in Vilnius in 2021. And I think it's quite brilliant idea to mix these persons with young and energetic people who believes in freedom, and this mask just something like a ghost, which is not consist anymore, but it is still consist, but I hope it won't.
Is there anything that you want to ask her?
Because you spoke about your country and the domination of the president and how the people didn't choose him, but still he is like ruling the country. So then you started to speak about these photos. So my question is that the concept of love, dysfunctional family, and at the same time dysfunctional democracy in country, that the people don't want him, but he is ruling by force. And is that a relation between this, or is that only that you want to explain a little bit about your country, then your work is only about dysfunctional family, or the concept of love, that people don't know how to love or how to demand love or give love and take it back?
I didn't thought about it exactly, but my main reason was it's like researching why people could do so cruel things and because of what. and why exactly in this kind of profession, in police forces, so many cruelty in our country? Because of course I think in I don't know what about Belgium, but maybe in dysfunctional families not so I don't know how to say it, like a trash like we have for nowadays, because government not support these families at all. It just think about their business, not about people.
Thank you. No more questions immediately. I mean, we will go deeper into this topic, of course, afterwards. So let's give the floor to Diren now.
Thank you very much. Since I left the country, actually, when I was leaving the country, I had like several reasons. I have been some demonstrations, Gezi demonstrations, since the first day, and organized the Istanbul Pride Week as one of the volunteer organizers. Have been in many political movements, and yeah, I mean, I am actively an activist since 15. Started with high school LGBT plus association in Istanbul. I have never been under any political threat. Any police or someone have never tried to arrest me. But of course the government and the power structure have been always attacking, not directly to me, but everything that I am. So that's why I have always felt the anxiety and all the attacks in my body, in my mind, in my heart. Like there was days that I like really scared to be arrested, even though there was not any logical reason for it. And I think that's the strategy of the dictatorship, according to Foucault as well. When they arrest people, they actually do it in order to rule and educate and shape the bodies that are living in the outside. So in this kind of regimes, outside becomes the prison itself. There is no any distinguish between inside and outside. So Turkey is a big jail right now, and I really felt the urge to get my ass out of there, and I fled away the country in 2021. I just went to Serbia as the first place because it was easy without any visa and regulation. I went there also with the artistic purposes, with exhibition projects, but I looked for a job, couldn't find. Then to other Balkanian countries, I seek for volunteering job on workaway.com and worked on some fields, and I really tried hard to sustain and survive. Then I find myself in Estonia just 1 week before of the physical attacks to Ukraine by Russia, which happened exactly in 24th of February, the Independence Day of Estonia. So people kind of thought and take it as a message. And it was also very anxious because the place that I was living was just 20 kilometers away from the Russian border. Then in May, last year May, I come to Berlin. And as an self-exiled individual, since I come to Berlin, I really was forced to be attached all my identities, actually, being an artist, being a queer, being a Kurdish people, being a Alevi people, and I am very proud to be all of this, but at the same time I am much more all of this. I am not only a Kurdish people or a queer person, I am much more all of these identities. But I think I was forced to first to take and be attached deeply to all these identities because of the immigration system itself. I think it's start with Ausländerbehörde. With the name of it, there is already an otherness is created, started from there. Also in Turkish, it's like Yabancılar Dairesi, Yabancı and Yaban. I don't actually believe European Union is a democratic organization. We can understand it actually very clearly as well with the new regulation between Turkey and NATO. Now Sweden and Finland are sending back the Kurdish people, exiled Kurdish people, back to Turkey. Yeah, so I mean, there is not any humanitarian purposes in the process of immigration, exile, and anything else. There is only purpose with, I don't know, monetary. It's a part of neoliberalism. And I was, I don't know, like since the first day that I come, I talked with many lawyers. I had, I don't know, like several reasons to seek for asylum, but none of them suggested it, just because it's too hard. It's been kept intentionally hard. So I just, in Ausländerbehörde, get my residence as an artist residency, which was given only by Hamburg and Berlin. And during that process, I needed to contact with many art galleries in Berlin. I explained the situations. I wrote many curatorial projects, many artistic projects, just to be included in many events, add them on my CV, and get some, letters of confirmations, letters of intents. I don't believe any of these should be a part of art. These are just my own survival reflex. And I was forced to be in this process just because the monetary purpose and neoliberalistic system of Europe. For me, being an artist is not about creating art and writing curatorial or artistic project with my survival reflex. It is about receiving spontaneous inspirations, and this is just so simple like that. But the process went good. I got my residency for 2 years. I don't know what's gonna happen after 2 years when I go to extend it, but yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it was because of solidarity or because of a democratic system. It was just, I think, out of luck and my capacity to communicate with art institutions. I have sent an email, maybe more than 1,000 to many galleries, and seek for collaborations and some solidarity. And no, not every gallery in Germany is good at solidarity. I could able to get only two intention letters, letter of intents, to use at my documents, and I believe especially the art institutions should be the first and the most powerful place of solidarity. But there is this understanding of, I think they see artists and they, I don't know, like there is a value hierarchy also in the artworks, but also in the artists. They just think at the first place if you are in the art sign or out, and yeah, they just I don't know, I think interested in that. And if they find you promising. They they spent a little bit effort to be look as thoughtful institutions. There are also, of course, good examples. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's not that easy.
What about this program Fixing What's Broken? The Academy in Exile, it's a new program.
The Academy in Exile was very helpful for me. Because of Academy in Exile, I mean, I could able to meet so many beautiful people. I will say it's still a part of the neoliberalistic system, and I am still there, being able to be involved to all these projects. Because to be seen as a successful artist, which I appreciate and I am thankful, but I think it shouldn't be a criteria.
The artworks that I wanted to show today, or it is my last series of work. If I want to relate it to the life before migration, is that I used to travel a lot in Iran, and as I came here, it was like after years, I in first 2-3 years you're so busy and occupied with homesickness or whatever, that you have no space to I don't know, think about what's going on with you. But after years, I realized that how it is important for me to have some sun and light, and Berlin doesn't have it, and it's actually about the geography and vegetation and I don't know, the light of the Berlin. There's also a video in this series of work which you can show, Pieter, maybe?
Commit to setting aside any day-to-day worries or responsibilities. You don't need to think about anything now. It's time to relax your body and wind down your mind. Start by closing your eyes and taking some long, deep breaths. Try to consciously release any tension in your body as you breathe out, allowing the muscles throughout your body to relax. Now, let your breath settle into its natural rhythm. Just observe each breath coming and going. Now, become aware of any bodily sensations. Pay attention to the feeling in your body. Do you notice any heaviness or lightness in your arms or legs? Focus on these feelings for a moment and allow your muscles to become more relaxed. Now bring your attention back to the breath while continuing to be aware of any bodily sensations. Notice any subtle movements throughout your body related to the breath. If you become distracted by thoughts, just acknowledge the thought and gently return to the sensation of breathing. As each breath leaves your body, allow yourself to become more relaxed. Just witness each breath as it comes and goes. Don't worry if your mind wanders. Don't judge or analyze your thoughts. Just guide your attention back to the breath. Notice how each breath differs. Is your breath becoming more shallow as you become more and more relaxed? Just continue to follow each breath. Now, allow your attention to soften. There's no need to focus on anything specifically. Just notice thoughts, feelings, sounds, and sensations as they arise. Allow your attention to drift between them naturally.
I struggle to deal with this coldness, gray light, and moisty water, or I don't know, to survive this. And and mixing with the daily life, you have to work, you have to run after your life to reach it out, and you have no time to think about what you're doing. Just I don't know. It is a really big contrast between my life here and there in back in Iran. I don't have any. I'm not talking about any political situation in Iran. You know that it's how it good how it is. I just as I said, just the geography of these two countries. And that was actually I had always, even in Iran, seasonal depression. So as I came here, it was a really a bomb. Berlin never let you down. If you have the seasonal depression, you can count on it. It's so generous for having and there are some works. It's a really big Syria work.
When you came in, you were also part of the Hier und Jetzt Connections program, which is also for exiled artists in a way.
Yes. It's for the artists in exile. And it's so interesting that it was my first community, my first real community that I felt like, I belong to them. So I stayed with them. I'm still working. My studio is still there, and our group is growing, which is really good. Now we are so diverse from lots of countries, and
we can talk a little bit later, maybe about also. Sure. If you have still something to say about the situation in Iran.
Yeah, sure. If anyone has a question.
We can leave it to the questions.
I never think about how to live inside the war, because I'm from Kiev. Kiev, it's every time was very freedom and mindness, open mind city. I'm a fan of classical art. I'm in love with Michelangelo, Rodin, Tizan, everyone who can save the art outside of the timeless and fashion. So it's every day and every time actuality. And I every time think how I can catch the moment and through the aesthetical thing give it to save it for the next generation. And but when so it was a very nice and happiness time, but when war start, I need think about my psychological and emotional mood and think where I can go and where I can save myself. And I have many proposals from my friends from Italy, Canada to come for their house. They are very support me, but I have immediately one thing in my head. I remember a long time ago I find one geotag in Instagram, Berlin place to be. And yes, it's really true, and I think about it every day. I hear when war starts, I hear this voice in my head, Berlin place to be, Berlin place to be. And I come here, and I know from the first time that I meet the people, meet support, because in Berlin you can find everything you want. You can find residence, financial and information support. And from first day coming here, I have support from Belarus, yes, and from Friedrichshain Gallery. and they support my voluntary activity and invite me to some project, for example, Lange nach der Berlin, and also we together participate in the Out There. This is a book, we call it Traveling Exhibition. I have one, I take with myself. If you want to look, you can look. And when I come to Berlin, I understand very important thing, that I'm not alone. Because here is so international city, and you can meet people from all the world, and you every day touch the story, people's story. And I understand that world is very difficult thing, and not just Ukraine now in fire and in pay. Many people have paid different bad situation with I don't know, with women rules, with self-expression. So also in European society, we still have a problem with aborts. Women can do with their body what they want. So when you are part of the society, when people not just listen you, they understand you. And I think about it, and I think about what I can do, how I can say about it through my work, through my aesthetic, and I find the way. Now I work of the project with the people body, with the people stories. It's a collaboration from the photography and voice, what we record in my not in my studio, in studio where I work, and they record in their voice. They tell me stories about they pay, and they base point very close to me, and we are like one small team in this time, and we understand in each other, and we can to be support for each other. I hope it will be exhibition and book with QR codes, so you can see the photo. It's not a photo like this. It's just maybe it's part of the body. People can do something, or just neck, or just hands, or just legs, and voice story like 1 minute. He talking about where I've come from to Berlin and why they come in.
Thanks for that. We can think a little bit more about this need to tell your story.
And also people want to tell their story, and they also want to that it's be in timeless. I don't know, for the next generation, for the another people, and it's
and maybe by sharing you also see the resemblance between different situations, or you can compare. Maybe it's not all completely the same. There are different risk levels, of course. Leaving from a war is different from leaving from an economic situation or politically restrictive situation or an undemocratic situation. But still, the experience of being in exile, of being self-exiled, can be quite similar. This is why it's good to have these talks and to have these artworks. We go a little bit in that direction later, but first, Barış.
And firstly, I want to show my video, and not my video, and the ZDF video, I think. And after this video, I think the people, they understood why I'm here. Yes, I'm here, and after peacetime in Erdogan, also when they started peacetime, also in Turkey 2013, we can talking about 1923 after the Lausanne. The Lausanne, also the imperialist governments, they cut Kurdish governments, Kurdish area like Iran in Rojava, Rojilat, Bakur, and Bashur. Yes, 2013 start peacetime for Turkish government and Kurdish guerrillas. And this time also we can talking about the Kurdish art, Kurdish artistic project. Also we start in after 2000, and we win the municipality, in Kurdish municipality, win the election. And after this election also they can show their culture in the municipality and another all 100 municipality. We established a lot of art space, or for example one of Ahmet Art Gallery in Sümer Park. Also some conservatory and kinder conservatory also, and theater, a lot of art space in Kurdistan. And 2015 the Turkish government attacked the municipality. Also they closed all art space. Firstly they attacked the art and artists. And we worked in Diyarbakır municipality and like cultural department. In 2015 or 16, I curated two exhibitions, one of Kurdistan exhibition, also 250, I invited 250 artists and from all the world, Kurdish artists and Turkish and Portuguese and Arabic, and a lot of artists, they came in Diyarbakır. Also we made symposium, also an exhibition. And this time the Kurdish people, they can see their brothers also, their artist brothers. Because before 2015, also I studied university 2000, I graduated 2004. And we don't know how many artists, Kurdish artists we know. For example, we don't know, for example, we can't see the South Kurdistan artists, also Rojilat artists. And after this exhibition, we can understand this, why we are like this. Also now a lot of artists, they know each other in Kurdistan. And 2015, when I created Kurdistan exhibition, after they start some attacks for exhibition, because one of friends also he made it one performing about ISIS. They said the Kurdish woman in the Mosul Bazaar. And he made one performing with 6 women, and after opening another day in radical Muslim people also, they attacked the space, attacked in newspaper, they attacked everywhere. They make demonstration, and what they write in all newspaper, what they do is Kurdish party, and we are shocked because we want to show something about they said the Kurdish woman in the Mosul Bazaar, and not for burqa problem, because they say why they use the burqa, and after we showed the one another exhibition, woman in Diyarbakır prison number 5. Also this exhibition because in 1918 the Turkish government in Diyarbakır prison, they killed a lot of Kurdish people in the prison, and women and men. And this exhibition also we showed women in the exhibition, because before this exhibition, I want to show the exhibition, but a different USB. And before this exhibition, the people, they don't know how many Kurdish women and Turkish women also in the prison in 1982. We say we want to talking with you, and we prepared the exhibition. They told us no, please, because our children, they don't know our story, because we don't want talking about our story. And after we prepared this exhibition, because why I'm talking about exhibition, because after these two exhibition, the government, they said you made a terrorist propaganda. And after this exhibition, they arrest me, and they gave me 5 years for prison, and after they another something. And after this arrested, and I moved to Helsinki with Arts at Risk project. But for us it's not very not easy, because very long time I'm coming. I came to European country. I'm working with a lot of association, also artists in Europe. But this time is very hard for me because I can't go back. Not this time. And now we are here, and we are working here. And because there's disadvantage, but for us. But now I want working about to like make a like advantage, and this status. Because now I'm working like a curator here, and also I organized some project about the Kurdish artists, about the Middle East artists. Last our event, you know, also Pieter, we make Kurdish contemporary artist talks. I start this series because we are here, and here also in Europe and country, also in diaspora, and Kurdish artists also, they don't know each other. And very big community live here, and for example in Germany, and 1.5 after Syrian war, now nearly 2 million Kurdish people live in Germany, but we have a lot of artists, a lot of performing artists, and a lot of directors also, but we don't know each other. But after this series, I want start the people how they know each other, how can they see each other also, and also because in Kurdistan people also they don't know artists in European country, for example, in Kurdish artists. And now I prepared one map, Kurdish artist map, about how many Kurdish artists, for example, live in Germany, live in Österreich, and in Switzerland. And this is very important for us because I told you it's like a big community here, and 100,000 Kurdish people live in Berlin, for example, but we don't have any institution in Berlin, for example. This is very important for us. But why we can't? Why we are not trying for institution? And now also we are working for this problem and how we can create new institution. And when we are thinking also the institution, also we are thinking how, for example, the government also, the German and other government also, and they know us like we are not Kurdish, they know like we are Turkish. Or for example, from like Iranian, like Iraqi artists, Syrian artists, for example. And now we are fighting about this problem. How can we can show we are Kurdish, and also not only for our art, for our culture, our everything or everything we want. We are surviving for this problem, and because we are talking about only. And you came from Turkey, and you are Turkish, and you have to have a Turkish passport, and some problem also like this. And also, for me, when I came here, also very long time I'm coming here, I'm working with the institution, but sometimes difficult. For example, when they invited artists from Kurdistan, from Middle East, also the art risk project. They invited only for short time, for
Artists
example.
at risk, you mean?
Not only artists at risk, another project also like this. When they invite the people, and for example, they invite for 3 months, and these 3 months, and the artist risk not finished.
No.
And because you invited artists, and because they have a risk, and how we can, they're not thinking how we can help him for artists. And 3 months. After 3 months, everything finished. After 3 months, maybe we are waiting for Erdogan. Like this problem, because how we can, I don't say why the government they are not helping us, and why we are here, for example, like we are not they don't help us every time, because I know also this situation from a lot of people also they are talking about this, but no, we surviving, we have a energy, we have a connection, for example, we have a good energy for Kurdish people. All Kurdish people also live here. For example, a lot of Kurdish people here, when I saw the Kurdish people also, they are very energetic, they are very clever, and also they produce the product, the artwork, also the for every part of the art, for example. Now, yes, and and I want talking shortly because I consented for video. Firstly,
okay.
but I can't show.
You talked.
No, I'm thinking also because my video also 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
And I think I'm thinking over the 4 minutes. I can
if you like, if it's online, I can make I can make a link.
I have it here now. We can also show now.
Well, let's first keep the discussion going because but I think some of the things that you are discussing already go in the direction of what we are trying to talk about. Is this self-fashioning, this idea of okay, I have to. I mean, in a way, it's a natural response. I have to redefine myself in the new place. But then there are also factors outside that kind of mold that identity, or they say, now you're the artist at risk. You have 3 months, in your residency. Please make art for us to understand your risk.
For me, it's not like this because we are research, because we applied for MRI.
Yeah.
So MRI also they help a lot of artists, a lot of artists from Middle East.
What is MRI?
MRI Martin Roth Initiative.
The Martin Roth Initiative. Yeah.
I work also 1.5 years with Martin Roth Initiative.
And you were in the Weltoffenes Berlin as well.
Yeah, in Berlin.
Yeah, that's another program.
Yes.
Yeah. So how maybe we can open it up to everybody. How do you feel about this this need to kind of identify or create an identity? Or maybe it is already an identity, but you have to highlight it in a way. And is this restrictive? Is this also helping? I hear Diren saying, actually I am all these identities, but I am more. So how do you feel about this in your own artistic practice and in your daily existence here in Berlin? Who wants to speak first?
Being not home is always like a little shock and stressed. So it's hard to start work just like it was at home. But I think it's extremely necessary to not be at home all the time and just to see on your work from another side. Of course, it's great if it's not dangerous and it's your wish, but it's not for us. And I think this situation is help for me, of course, is helped me growing up, and I just feel other way of responsibility for myself, for my family, and for maybe for my works too. It's like reload all of my doing used to. But I can say for myself that I'm super connected with my country, and I'm super in context of Belarus art. I not mean Belarus contemporary art, but Belarus culture, and it's very important for me to work with it and rework it in nowadays and the future to make some memory. It's very important to work with memory for me. So it's quite stressful to be not home, but it's really important at the same time.
In Berlin is a huge Ukrainian community now, and it's very important to find people who speak same language with you, who have same tradition, and you can think about it, because when you live in Ukraine you don't really think every day about vyshyvanka, its traditional clothes or something else. And here you can work with this, think about this, and show it to all the world. And first of all, show difference between Russian and Ukrainian. And because we are really very different country, it's what you say, it's very same when you are coming somewhere like 2 years ago. You are from Russia, you say, no, I'm from Ukraine. Ukraine, it's part of Russia. And every time it's like, but now everyone know that Ukraine is not Russia, and you don't every time say about it. And second time, I want to say that the connection with people, for me, it's my like food. I don't know. It's very important, and I need to know people, to work with them stories, and that's why I'm not in depression. And of course, it's very important to be a part of some residence or to have place where you can create. But I decide for me that. Okay, I can create in one corner, in near the wall, on the street, somewhere in Berlin. You can do this. It's not problem. No one think you're crazy. And then I think I try to find the best place for this project, and I hope Berlin have a place where waiting for me.
Historically, Berlin has been the city of exiles, and it has become more. Even you were saying, "Oh, city, this is the Berlin to be." You know, Berlin to, what did you say?
Place to be.
Place to be. Yeah.
Yes.
And it has attracted also always artists, especially after World War II, when the spaces were open and there was places to grab and squat and whatever. So it has attracted many communities always. But you were also talking about the neoliberal capitalist mindset that is also happening right now in the city as well, with properties that are being, becoming more expensive, and it's becoming always less and less space for artists to create studios. So I don't know. It seems like we are in a very tenuous time. There's more people coming in, but there's also more pressure, and there's also more need for programs, but then the programs are short. I mean, maybe Shirin is also quite lucky that she's in Belo for a long time, because you need that kind of process, and you see that also in your artworks, that you are really going deep and slow, and you have to make time, but it's not for everybody, it seems. So is there anything you would like to respond to these experiences?
I have. Yeah. Of course, that's also, I mean, any kind of institution is already subjected to be a part of the capitalist system, and it is, of course, not a logical idea to expect from institution to be a charity for you. But I mean, in the art world, the neoliberalistic aspect and the monetary purpose of this process is quite obvious. I think this should be discussed more and criticized more, and to be seen more. There is many institutions talking about welcoming culture, but I think there is also another lack of care. I think the real lack is about caring one another, also welcoming, but also care. Otherwise, I don't know, it seems like a diversity washing to me. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. If you are interested in that, I wrote actually a policy brief, like a policy report, where I look at all the different programs and what they do and how it works, but I also have points of criticism and points for improvement. And this idea of care came up a lot, especially also after the COVID period, of course. But there's a big difference between need and care. Need is something like, oh, we just give money and we can kind of like it's done. But care, it means more sustainable concern. You have to be, and it's also care for yourself, the self-care. And so the question is, how can we organize ourselves? How can we also help, in a way to create sustainable, maybe not institutions, but places that bring more support that is needed, more than these 3 months that you get somewhere, because you have to learn also maybe the language, you have to integrate, you have to kind of find your way, which is such a program which is only output oriented couldn't give you. So do you have any ideas on that? Is this an ideal that cannot be reached, or is this something that we can start making ourselves? What do you think?
Especially the residencies should serve for artists that are in the hard conditions, and they should facilitate the process of immigration and exile. And there is so many galleries that just giving a place to artists and trying to purchase their works, and still looking for more money, more PR, and different things. But yeah, I mean, especially in this age and in this process, a safe place for stay and to live is very important, and they have it, and they can care about people also in the hard conditions. But of course, that's still bringing us to the question of self-fashioning. When there is no care and still a process developing about the identity politics, it can easily turn and become an example of diversity washing. It's also very related to what the artist is creating. I think if there is not any political argument in the artwork, this is not different than the decoration. I think the institutions and their intentions can be really visible and to be sensed just as the artworks.
براستي برنامج يواهي يعني لما كو تين لبر دجين لبر دخوازن أو حاطنا ماش كو نبدأ استماعي أو بيشين بيجن.
It's important to start with that we are here, but it's not because that we want to be here. Actually, we are here because of some.
لجبوي ما probleme كيه probleme em Kurdun yani Kurdistan jiyo probleme leverji probleme.
For us, when he says us, he means Kurds. The problem is about our existence. I mean, when we are in Kurdistan, being Kurd is a problem, and here also it's continuous. It's the same.
چیه سبب او دولت آلمان و دولت ترک وقت برات خبتن هر دو جد جمله کردان.
Yeah, what's the reason? The reason is that the Turkish state and German state, they works like brothers. They have so much like the agreements together, so they also see us the same.
دما که تو کاری که دخواستی بکی دولت دو جارا سه جارا ویت فکره کو بشکری بدته.
When you want to create art as a Kurdish person, then the state, the government, has to think 3 or 4 times to give you this support or not, because you're creating as a Kurdish person.
جبرویت تجی جو هبونا لور هبونا آواکرنا آواهیه جی چاند و هنره هر تم پروبلمه جبرکو هیرش هر تم سروان سازیا لور جی هنه.
That's why actually it's so hard to create the place, the space for art and produce your art here also in Berlin as a Kurdish person, because your existence is also seen as a problem actually.
Yani ne tenecrübe Berlin'e bu gerek Velatin Avrupa و تایبت Almanya.
It's not only for Berlin, it's for all the maybe many of the European countries and other parts of the world also.
Yani kesi ku politik be, hünermend be, an kare politik bike, ve dibini ku rahat ji bajarı Helsinki ji, an Finlandiya ji dişinin Türkiye.
Yeah, if you are a political person, artist who creating art, then if you do your art in Berlin or Helsinki, they can easily send you back to the Turkey.
Jberku Erdoğan yuxastiye, o duxazım kevin NATO'y. O her tim Kürt dedim peş.
Yeah, I mean, they use Kurds as tokens, just a useful token to, for example, between when the Finland want to go inside of the NATO, be part of the NATO, so they can send easily Kurds back to the Turkey.
Yani demako şer dest pêkir serê şerê Rojava ku Kurd bi Daesh şer kir ku Daesh şer hunda kir gelek insan hatin li vir lê problemekî hebû mesela rê ji wan Kurdara ve nebû rê ji wan evê rojdata navîne ve nebû.
Yeah, I mean, after the war between, I mean, Kurds and the ISIS, when the ISIS just lost, and then many of Kurdish people, they came also here in Berlin, in Germany, but they didn't get the support that the other communities got.
Lê çibû Kurd qezanj kir, Kurd her tim xeberdan lê wek alîkariyekî wek sernavê ku ji bo Kurda tu carek nadayîn.
Yeah, I mean, they did all these ads like, oh, Kurds, they are fighting for our, I mean, also our benefits, it's nice and blah, blah, but they never really supported the Kurdish people, community and artists.
Lê problema me li vir cêkê avakirin tenê nîne. Em çawa xwe bigînin Kurdistanê, em armanca me Kurda tiştekî wisa ye.
But I don't see the problem only as a creating space for the art as Kurdish people community here in Berlin. Also, my problem is how to find a way to reach the people in Kurdistan. I mean, creating art here, but reaching to Kurdish people in Kurdistan.
Li Kurdistanê jî hunermend nikarin wek azad karê xwe bikin, hunera xwe bikin, yani karê hunerê bikin.
Because artists in Kurdistan, they are not free. They cannot create their art. So we have to find a way in a way.
Brastî ew problemin yani ji bo me hemû Kurda jî gelek problemên wan tişta lê ji bo pêşerojê li vir wek me got yani tenê ez pere bidim û kar bike ez em lê mêze bikin em cî tenê bidin kê problem new tişte.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem only as to find a place, find some financial support, and find 3-4 artists and just make something, a project or something. It's more how to find a way for these existence problems and for also reaching people in Kurdistan. Yeah.
Wek berê min got yani pêşî hûn ê çawa me qebûl bikin. Yani em ê çawa xwe bidin qebûl kirin ji we re.
Okay, as I said before, our first problem is how you are gonna accept us, give us a name, or how we are gonna introduce us.
Ku ya çareser be, evet tiştedine jî gelek çareser bir.
If we solve this problem, I believe that many other problems will be also solved.
Yeah.
Spas.
How can, because when I talk to people who are in exile or self-exile here, some of them actually tell me that that they don't feel they can be as useful anymore as they used to be when they were in their country. So the question is also about the identity that you have in your own country, and then when you come here, to what extent do you still have a kind of impact? I hear Barış saying, actually, I am here now and I'm making good use of my time to reach out to all the Kurdish regions and also help them. Yeah? So it's not just about you here, it's also about them there, who are also, in a way, maybe sometimes exiled in their own countries. And the question is maybe for all of you, how do you feel in relation to Ukraine right now? Can you make really a voice and be useful here? Same with Iran. How is that going now with the connection with what's happening lately now? You said it was a hot topic, but can we learn a bit more? The same with LGBT, Alevi communities, maybe also Kurdish for you in Turkey, and the Belarusian situation. You said also I'm very Belarusian in my art. So how do you feel you still have a connection and thereby an impact? Or do you feel, actually no, I'm now broken because I have to exist here and do something with my own life here? How is it for all of you?
I wanted to turn the view into us, the audience of this institutes or these programs. I am not defending this structure. I am 100%. I'm thinking that they are responsible to to stay with solidarity with something that they are getting money for it. But there are thousands of these kind of programs, and there are I don't know, events and blah blah. But in the end, I don't know. There are no impact of the people who are watching, who are taking part in this kind of events or I don't know, programs, whatever. This Berlinale is with the theme of the Genjian Azadi and I don't know, Ukraine and what now? And you see yesterday the how Lorenza went to Iran and where the same thing that the women in Iran are fighting against it and are getting died, and it's and the people here, I mean the first world, know how to make the government to do something, and no one does. And it's so sad. I'm more focused on this part of the story because it's our responsibility against each other, and yeah, and lots of us fight our whole life for what we are now, and it's not done, and it's not just about us, it's about I mean not just about ourselves, it's about us. The impact, actually, what kind of the kind of how you're active here, it's kind of it feels like it's planned before you start. It's you're a artist in exile who should present something exotic. Maybe I don't want to use this. Maybe it's something related about what Diren said about the identity, and this titles for your identity is already chosen, and it's so hard to first get rid of this. I am not this. I am not a I am a survivor. I am not a woman from Iran who's need help or whatever. Yeah, it's so hard to get rid of it and rebuild what you want to be, and after that learn how to present it, and yeah.
I think the very important part of our being here is support ourselves first, because when you are empty, you have nothing to give other people. So yeah, it's very important just to stay calm, begin to stay calm, and just feel in healthy life, and just I don't know, small happy things every day. Just, love your dog, and walking, thinking about nothing. It's not necessary working all the time and just being in stress and thinking, what could I do? What could I do? Oh my God, I do nothing, or I do less, I could do more. And I understand that only after 3 months being here, I could help people in Belarus. And what I'm doing now, it's just talking about our problems. I could do it visual or just information to support people by money, because I have this chance here and I have no chance in Belarus. So I think it's just important to understand that we have to take care about ourselves, and then we could take care about other people.
1 year ago, I don't think about my voice. So I don't think about I have a voice that I can inform people, and I can say something about my country, about my culture, and something else. And now I'm here, and I understand that is my voice. It's very important thing, and I work with many European dance company and with freelance dancer. They have same problems with places, with here choreographer, with money. All artists of all kind of artists have same problem, and I understand that I can very easy to speak with them and say about myself, about my culture, not just okay, I'm Ukrainian photographer, and not about, oh, let's cry all together, everything bad, blah blah. No, I can say about music in my country. For example, we have friends, German friends, and they said, oh, we know this band, Ukrainian band, and we're singing together, and we go into the concerts, or and because we have really in Ukraine we have our music, our tradition, and it's very interesting. And for example, how I start this project, what I say, explain about them. Once I go on the street in Zoological Garden, and I see so beautiful girl, she's singing in the street, and I come to her, no, I don't come, I take a video and post in Instagram, and in video I see that here Instagram tag. And I think, oh my God, I want to shoot in her. And I text to her that la la la, and we meet again. And she tell me her story. She has incredible story. It's impossible to believe in this. And I think, oh, it's so easy. I just see her in the street, and we have some interesting thing. And now I not long time in Berlin, so I now I think like just about my possibility to do something, and I can wait. It's not problem for me now, and just I want to my voice to be heard to another people.
Do you want to also add something, Diren? Or yeah?
Yeah, I also like to mention the persons that I have met since I arrived to Berlin. These people have been very inspirational for me, and yeah, I actually try to present also their stories in the installation Story of an Envelope. It's in the entrance. There's two installations. In front of it, there is the installation called Ballot Box. So in the Story of an Envelope, there is 8 person coming from different places. From Iran, from Hong Kong, from Kurdistan, from Turkey. And yeah, like their common point is that they are experiencing the exile or different forms of displacement. And yeah, there are now Delal expressing her memory in Diyarbakir when she was in her apartment, and the army came and attacked and bombed the neighborhood. Or there is my friend, Iranian friend. She wanted to be anonym in this installation because it's not allowed in Iran to come out as an artist when you're a woman. It is criminalized, and she cannot release her album, her music album. But in this installation, we have the privilege to listen her music, which is going to be realized, I hope, in the next months. Yeah, there is Kiki, a drag queen and transgender friend of mine, still living in Istanbul and explaining their memories and experiences in the city before and after their transition. These stories are very important, and we, all of us, I think, are carrying them with pride. Yeah, and I think the main challenge for me, and in my observation for many people, when we are carrying them, we are encountering so many exotism and so many, as also you said, and so many whiteness. These identities can be a struggle for many times. Or people can see them as just labels and nothing else. In my experience, like very individual experience, I am proud of who I am, and I am deeply inspired by being a queer person. Also, from my land, I work with Anatolian paganism. And the queer side and queer experience and ecstatic experience of shamanism. Yeah, and I, as an artist, don't want to just go to a place and say, hey, I am queer, take me in. Yeah, it should be different than this. I just want to be seen with what I create and what I do. I think that's the point. Yeah, and I think that's all from me. Yeah, thank you very much.
Is there any burning question from the audience? Because it's now 9 o'clock. I know everybody's tired and wants to party now, maybe. But one more question, yes, or two. Okay.
Living a long time over here with my cultures in Turkey as a Kurdish person, and always this identification crisis, who I am, where I belong to, and I can see all of us have the same question, who I am, with all the symptoms coming out like fear, could not sleep anymore, or depressions, or want to help others, and everything like this on this political problems, which is very disbalanced. And we are searching outside, and we are thinking what we can do for the others, but I can say, because you are not so long here in this country, has so many good and the bad sides. We are getting to find it out, and time runs, and so it's just a recommendation of as a searcher, as I said, to find home inside of you, because we had this previous workshop where we set this fire inside of us, and the only fact is my body and my art. And instead of expecting something outside from the political system or from another person, whatever comes through your way, it's like find home inside of yourself and raise your voice with your art. Because I saw one person, she's I don't know, Kurdish or Turkish, doesn't matter. She lose her family in Turkey, and she just did one interview. She cried and talked to the people, and she collected 90 million euros, and she sent it there just because she's strong with her art and her voice. So this is maybe what we can say, who are living a long time already, and all of us searching for something and just for the self-care, find peace inside of you and your mind, and use the art for creating healing inside of you after all this heavy experience outside of home. What is home? Find home inside of you.
May I just make a short?
Thank you. Yeah, Roshda.
She's the original Jewish person who exiled from Germany to Dominican Republic. Her name is Hilda Domin. There is one of her poems. She says, I try to build a home for myself, but my home has legs. It can move. Because I know at some point they are gonna just kick me out. So I have to build my home with legs. I think it's very important that we create our own home inside of ourselves as our body, but at the same time, when we are speaking about this issue, there is also this risk of forgetting about that we are also very materials, realistic materials, that we need also a homeland, a country, and it's very political issue. And we maybe have to, every time when we are speaking about building our home inside of ourselves, then we have to also remember that we really need a real country with a passport. Because this painful question, where are you from, is very painful, guys, because whenever they ask me, where are you from? I think it's not working right now. Okay. It's really painful because you have to say Turkey, and then you have to add, but I'm not Turkish. But then they say, but it doesn't matter. No, it's matter actually. It's matter for me. But if you say it's not hot in Berlin, it's not sexy. You should not say, but I'm not Turkish, because then they are gonna tell you like, is it important? Yeah. I mean, you passed this phase, but my people didn't, so it's important. That's why I just want to make this comment.
First, I want to give a remark. Rojda said something which was important. And yeah, there's the fashion, self-styling, for me, it's really problematic. When I landed in Germany for, I think, 7 years ago, I was a radical leftist. Internationalism for me was everything. And after that, I found myself that I'm under pressure to identify myself everywhere. And it's an Ausländerbehörde, as you said, and somewhere else. Where are you come from? When I was living in Kreuzberg, it was sexy, as they said, no? Kreuzberg, it was very famous for me. I was connected to Berlin through reading. I read the first book about Berlin written by Walter Benjamin. Yeah, Berlin childhood. And for me, Berlin was sexy. But when I landed in the reality, it was really difficult. And I was always confronted with Turkish people in Kreuzberg. Where are you come from? I'm from Kurdistan. There's no Kurdistan. Yeah, there is a Kurdistan, and there are 4 parts of Kurdistan. Okay, they are under occupation, but there is at least a Kurdistan. I am from the southern Kurdistan, the so-called Iraqi Kurdistan. I also don't know Arabic, and why I have to be connected to Iraq while I'm not speaking Arabic. I'm not able to speak Arabic. Okay, it's another matter. As Rojda pointed out, I'm not repeating this. Just one point is very interesting for me, that it's connected to Iran. I wouldn't call it revolution or Iranian revolution, because there's no united revolution. In Iran, there are parties, people have different demands. People are now fighting for their lives. The whole country has reduced into, quoting Kafka, penal colony. It is a colony for criminalizing people without having a source for living. So, as I experienced it in Germany with Iranian people, they all tried first to appropriate a revolution, to show that there is a united revolution without differentiating interests of different people within the geography of recently Iran.
But
How to
what is the
be
question?
a voice, how to be a voice, how to try to naming the people who are right now nameless.
It is so complicated because visibility. It's you're fighting against some terrorists, and it's not easy to be visible. A friend of mine wrote a thesis about this revolution and about the invisibility of people in this revolution. I had to name her. Baron Erwali has wrote this this thing about the revolution, that it happens actually in cyber area, and invisible. It's with your cyber profile, with your with your because it's what you're fighting against. It's just about the visibility. I have answers about the other part of your question, because deleting your existence is what they are doing. It has a term in their politics. We as Iranian know this term as what they do to people who fight against them. So it's about the visibility in Iran, and I think that the real fight happens there. I mean, on land fight is the real fight. Not what we are doing there here. Yeah, we are fighting visible. We are safe. We are okay. But what's happening there? And about the Zinjan Azadi, it comes from the Kurdish, the Kurd culture, the Kurdish culture, and the slogan comes from the Kurdish part of Iran, do this revolution, and yet actually I think it's so clear that it's about the minorities, and it's so deep democratic. And I don't know how you how you see this, that it came, because I don't know, we, if I want to say, because the activist side of me is so different from artist side, they are not together. So as an activist, if I want to say that we really try to show that it's not the gen, it's gen with star. It's about the as a symbol of the minority that was always under pressure, was always blocked, I was deleted. And it's the symbol of all minorities, and we try to explain every time we use this slogan, because it. I mean, you have to talk about it as Kurd people. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope this is a little bit of an answer. We can continue the conversation, I would say, outside. It's of course connected with so many issues here. And I'm happy that you asked such a deep, difficult question as well. So as we are going deeper into the night, these questions come up. We have one more event coming up. I hope that will happen outside in the hallway. So please do not leave. There is a concert by Babelvis. Thank you so much for staying so long, and we can now move on to the last part of the evening. Thank you so much.
küçük şeyler bizi barıştıran. Hep küçük şeyler, küçük şeyler seni sevdiğim. Küçük şeyler seni üzdüm. Para para papam, para para papam, para